Hi everyone, and welcome to Teaching Natural. My name's Dare. I'm a 7th year high school English teacher in SoCal or Southern California. And this video is all about teaching a socially conscious unit and building a socially conscious unit. In the teaching credential program, I was not taught how to do this really. They kind of just said, teach social consciousness, but they didn't really have a pathway for me to do it or the supports. So my first few years of teaching, I ran into some very stressful situations that made me question a lot about my future in teaching. But given the current climate and the way that I want to help new teachers not have to go through things in experience that I did, hopefully learning from my testimony, here's how to build a socially conscious unit. Step one, what is a socially conscious unit? It's a unit where you are teaching students how to critique social issues, as well as teaching students how to look at the way that insert whomever is critiquing a social issue. This could be in math, this could be in English or social science, this could be in art. So we're just talking about any critique of a social experience or any critique of a society. The first thing in creating a socially conscious unit and teaching a socially conscious unit is to know your standards. Your standards are the thing that's going to protect you. It's the thing that's going to back you up. It's the thing that's going to help you explain to students, why are we doing this? And as well as parents and guardians, why are we doing this? And it is the thing that admin is going to ask you for first if a parent or guardian or school board member challenges why you are doing what you're doing in your classroom. You want to know your state standards. You want to know your school district's standards or expectations. And then if your school is a part of any special programs, you want to know those standards, and you want it very clearly displayed in your lesson plan. Transparency is your key to covering your butt, okay? In the state of California, we have the Fair Education Act, or SB 48. The Fair Education Act says that we need to teach about the contributions of people of various racial groups, ethnicities, social groups, various nationalities that came in and immigrated to California, different religious groups that contributed to California, as well as members of the LGBTQ plus community who made contributions to California. So it is state legislature, state law in our education code that I have to teach social consciousness, which just happens to fit with my natural inclination of teaching and why I wanted to teach in the first place. In addition to SB 48, the Fair Education Act, my school is a part of IB, or International Baccalaureate. This is a global program that says that students should be able to dissect racial groups, socioeconomic groups, LGBTQ, nationality, religion, all of these different things. IB says that my students should be able to identify these in the text and be able to talk about them and see how these things intermingle with other texts as well. So not only do I have the state standards that tell me that I have to do this and that I use to support my rationale for teaching, but I also have the IB standards that say that that's something I have to do. My school district does have a policy on teaching controversial issues, so I make sure that I look at what that policy is and that I am fitting my curriculum to that policy. A lot of people might also use the Southern Poverty Law Center's it was teaching tolerance. I believe now it is learning for justice, but they have social justice standards, which are absolutely excellent. So that is another way that you could use those standards to support your socially conscious unit or your social critique unit. The next thing that you want to be conscious of or be ready for if you are teaching a socially conscious unit or building a socially conscious unit is having an alternate assignment ready. Parents and guardians have the right to an alternate assignment, and the alternate assignment should not be kept a secret. Okay, so make it very clear that here's the alternate assignment. Because of your state standards, it still might have certain things in it, but you are using your state guided curriculum or you are using your school district's guided curriculum on this. Make sure that students know how they can ask for the alternate assignment, and also make sure that they don't have to be in front of anyone as they ask for an alternate assignment. For example, when I introduce the social conscious unit and I specify, okay, here are the standards, this is why we're doing this unit, I have a slide that says, if you would like the alternate assignment, email my email, make this the subject line, alternate assignment, and then just say, Miss B, I am requesting the alternate assignment. That makes it simple, private, and I can have the alternate assignment ready for that student. It doesn't mean that you can completely keep it quiet, because you might have to send them to a buddy room or to the library or something like that for them to work on their alternate assignment. However, you are not putting the pressure on the student. Obviously, I tell my students, you can come to me before or after class or during break, but if it really is easiest for you or your parent or guardian to email me and request the alternate assignment, then, go ahead and do that, and I will have it ready for you. In tandem with the alternate assignment, you want to have an email template ready, because in my experience, some parents and guardians can come in very hot through email or through phone. And it can be scary and it can be uncomfortable. And depending on your own personal experience, it can bring up a lot of feelings about the way people are treated in society. And so you want to be able to first hear the parent or guardian, and it's really hard to hear if you are already emotional, but you also want to take your emotions out of it. And so I have an email template ready that says, thank you, parent and guardian, for your concern. This is the purpose of the unit. I list these standards. And then I have a separate section that says alternate assignment. And then I say, were you aware that an alternate assignment was offered? If it's not clear in the parent or guardian's message to you, then specifically ask, would you like so-and-so to complete the alternate assignment? That way, the parent or guardian sees that you are understanding of whatever their concern is, and they see that you have a solution in place that they get to choose. Yes, this is the alternate assignment I would like my student to do, or no, thank you for explaining what's going on with this unit. My student does not need the alternate assignment. In that email, I also tell the parents and guardians that the curriculum is available through whatever platform your school uses, whether that is Schoology or Synergy or Class Dojo, Google Classroom, whatever platform. Don't have your curriculum hidden. Have it very clear. Make sure from the beginning of the semester that parents and guardians know how to access that curriculum. And so you can say, parent or guardian, you are welcome to look at the curriculum. I invite parents and guardians into my classroom. I say, if you would like to do the reading and would like to come into a classroom discussion, I'm happy to do that. Just let me know so that I can follow the guest in the classroom procedures for my school. I also offer to have a conference with them if there is anything that they are uncertain about or uncomfortable. I have that conference with them. And then I also have discussion questions ready for parents and guardians to say, I see that you want to have this conversation with your student. You are welcome to use this as a resource if you would like it, to have these conversations to supplement what we are doing in class. I have never had a situation that has not been resolved through that email. Whether a parent will say, oh, okay, I understand now. I don't need the alternate assignment. I've had parents and guardians say, yeah, I'd like to have a conference with you. Can you walk me through what's happening? I've had a parent and guardian say, please give my student the alternate assignment and please send them to the library every day. And either way, you just make it clear that your job is to teach your students these standards and to make sure that they have a safe and academically responsible place to speak about the social critique that's going on in insert whatever specific topic that you are studying through a social critique. Your admin will very much appreciate you having an email already ready, and you CC your admin, you CC your department chair just in case the parent wants a conference, and then you can handle that. And your admin will say, that was very professional. Thank you so much for keeping me in the loop. Let me know if you need any other support. From the beginning of the school year and the semester, you should have already sent home your syllabus. But in your syllabus, and I'll do a deep dive on a video on how to create your syllabus. In your syllabus, be very clear that this unit is coming? What texts are you going to be reading? You don't have to list them all, but what text? Make sure you list those standards, document everything like a lawyer. And then on my syllabus, I have my students sign and return it. There's a spot where it says request a syllabus conference, where a parent or guardian can say, hey, I looked at the syllabus and I see this unit's coming up. Can you have a meeting with me, explain what's going on? And if you do that work in the beginning, it makes it so much easier if there is an issue in your classroom to be able to say, I sent the syllabus home. This was listed on the syllabus. You signed and returned it. There was an opportunity for you to have a conference with me. Do you still want to have a conference with me? Are you asking for the alternate assignment? And again, as long as you are thorough and you cover your bases like that, you are going to be a professional. Everybody who is your supervisor will see that you are a professional. They'll be able to support you. And again, it will take some of that emotion and some of that targeted feeling off of your shoulders if you are just ready and you have it prepared. So now that you've done all the legal protections and the backbone thinking of the unit with your standards and having an alternate assignment ready, pick a theme for social critique and then pick a variety of texts or math problems or whatever that shows different groups going through these situations. For example, I am doing a unit on love, and it is tied to Romeo and Juliet. In addition to Romeo and Juliet, we are looking at Supreme Court cases that have to do with love and how the law works with love. We are looking at an informational text that talks about the brain chemistry of love. Students did identity maps about themselves and 5 things that they love about themselves and a place that they love. So, and then students for their final are going to be analyzing a love song of their choice and talking about love in that love song. And so that's just one example of a topic, and bringing in texts that show different people, different groups going through this same experience. The more variety you have, the less it's going to feel as if you have some sort of agenda or dogma that you are trying to teach to your students. And the more it's going to look at, no, see, this is a global thing that affects many different people, even though it can affect people in different ways. Okay? So variety. In addition to variety, you want to give students choice. The more choice you can give students, the less, again, it will feel as if you have a personal agenda or a personal dogma that you are trying to get across. Here's an example of choice. In the love unit, there are 2 court cases and court opinions that we'll be looking at. One is Loving v. Virginia about interracial marriage. The other is Oberfeld v. Hodges about same-sex marriage. I gave an anonymous Google survey to my students where they could vote which Supreme Court case they would like to look at, interracial marriage or same-sex marriage. It's an anonymous vote. We just did it really quick, no conversation about it. I then look at the voting, see what the majority is, and I tell students the majority rules. This year, the majority of my classes voted to look at interracial marriage and the Supreme Court case concerning that. So we'll be looking at Loving v. Virginia. I still make it clear that any student who doesn't feel comfortable can ask for the alternate assignment. But my students will see that because I gave them the choice, it was their buy-in, and they have chosen that they want to examine this certain thing in society and see how the law has been used with multiple different groups and how the law has not applied evenly to multiple different groups. So again, my students had the choice of whichever Supreme Court opinion they had to look at, and I'm making sure that I am hitting the standards of we are looking at a diverse element of race, and we are looking at the standard reading informational 9-10.4, where my students need to be able to dissect the language of a court opinion and see how it is different than a newspaper article or another type of text. So I'm hitting the standards, I'm hitting the IB standards, and I'm giving my students choice. Another way that you can differentiate and give student choice is their writing prompts. So I have a list of writing prompts that I will put on the screen right now for the love unit. And students get to choose their writing prompt. So they look at the text, Loving v. Virginia, their love song, Why We Love, Chemistry of Romantic Love in the Brain, and I don't know if I said Romeo and Juliet yet, but Romeo and Juliet. My students are looking at, and their identity map about themselves. My students are looking at all of those texts and they are finding a common through line that they want to prove in their paper. I also tell students, if you would like to have your own prompt, that's fine. Just run it by me so I can make sure that the prompt can apply to multiple texts, because it is a standard that they have to be able to synthesize evidence and information. And if they pick a prompt that only applies to one text, they're obviously not going to be successful in doing that. So I counsel them on how they can create a prompt. But for the most part, these prompts cover specific IB core issues or core areas and global areas that IB wants them to be able to write about. And so I haven't had a student yet who could not find something that interests them in these sections. So as you're building your unit, again, look at the variety of the text. What can you bring in? What can you do to engage students? Where can you give students choice? And where can you allow students to follow their own interests within a topic? Okay. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you've got some good tips, and good luck on your social conscious unit. In the meantime and in between time, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.